2019 was a difficult year for markets, for most active fund managers. It was a difficult one for Carmignac. We were not happy with the performance of our funds. And actually, we were even more frustrated because, as it turned out, the analysis we had for the markets turned out to be pretty correct. And we lacked the discipline to really implement our analysis in our investment strategy, and therefore we didn't generate the performance we wanted. So it was a difficult moment. The analysis was that the market would be hit by a contraction in the liquidity offered to the market at the same time as an economic slowdown. So that was not going to end well, and that's exactly what happened. And we should have been able to deal with this situation better. And that's why it was a disappointing year for us. Now, what's interesting is that the damage has been done. There's been in 2018 a real clash, a collision between a monetary situation and the supply of liquidity by central banks that really changed dramatically compared to the previous year, and an economic activity which moved from a nice expansion in 2017 to a slowdown. So that dynamics was pretty brutal for markets. 2019 is looking much differently because central banks basically are at a standstill. They have done what they could do in terms of normalization, and now they've moved into sort of a neutral territory. So it's all now down to analyzing where we are in the economic cycle. And in that respect, the economy globally is slowing. But it's not slowing in a very brutal way. It is mildly slowing in the US, in China. It is slowing a bit more in Europe, and we'll have to watch whether that remains in control. But for the time being, it is a normal stage of the cycle with a mildly slowing economy and low interest rates. And therefore, here stock picking becomes the key. Last year was all about calling the markets correctly. This year, the markets might well end the year at the same level approximately as today, unless we have major external shocks like a hard Brexit or a major issue with China. But otherwise, the markets could be pretty much trendless, and then for the performance will come from picking the right stocks, picking the right sectors, selling the ones that will do poorly, and generating really alpha, which is the job of an active fund manager. So I think the risk-return profiles of a good active fund manager this year should be significantly better than it was last year. Now, sustainability at Carmignac is something we've been doing without really talking about it forever. I remember when we launched our first funds more than 30 years ago already, we were convinced that a number of themes should be avoided, like weapons, like tobacco, these kind of ethical convictions that we considered have nothing to do with funds for clients. Now, 30 years later, sustainability has become a major investment theme, and we are not really keen to create funds that would be specifically targeted at this theme, but our sort of a sensitivity for this theme is, of course, as strong as ever. And we got awarded those 2 labels from the French government for 3 of our funds because they are sort of a state-of-the-art in terms of sustainability. So it is very important at Carmignac. We call ourselves Carmignac risk managers. We might as well call ourselves Carmignac sustainability managers, because at the end of the day, it's about risk management. Sustainability is about finding economic models, business models that will do well in the long run And so it's all about sustainability. So it is a very important theme at Carmignac.